Oh my god, here we go. At least this time the exciting thing is that this will be a one-time take, I hope.
Right?
Oh no.
This is also nice. Should we invest in like a proper setup for this whole thing?
Yes. Oh no, we
Maybe-
started off. I was fidgeting and then I pulled the under thing.
We always need a grandma
now?
or a mother for this.
Come on now.
Eat a little
And
less.
this is like one of my new favorites as well. So I was hoping that. Oh look. Is this more of a look? Like this? Maybe?
This can work out in certain situations.
No, because it was like bunching weird. I was checking on the camera before and it was bunching in a strange way. Okay, I think that's better.
So anyway,
This has been my new favorite like body
should we
warmer.
just first get into it?
Oh yeah. So, hi everyone. Welcome
Alright.
back to another one of our Q&As
I just have one thing.
slash podcast in the making.
Can we just make a decision on this? Like, is this happening? Is
No,
this
it's
not
happening. It's
And
happening.
do we need a name like Chit Chat with Matt?
No, you know what I thought? I had actually pitched
Do you have
this.
to put your head behind your ear for this?
Let's get into it. I actually had pitched this. I don't know if I told you, to another YouTuber to do like
Oh, I
collaborative
know,
podcast.
yeah. And here I am.
Let's not talk about it, but I had pitched then a name as well.
Which was?
And then it was Unstable. I thought that was a fun name because it's like a play on words with the like a horse stuff.
Well, you need to like, before
And-
you post this, we need to save this name before somebody steals it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to. Well, how do we can't save it, but we're gonna
Well-
claim it. So if you see another equestrian podcast coming out with the name Unstable, they copied it from us. But I thought that's a good name, right? You're in your head looking.
impressed.
No. You're looking for
I
like.
thought stable talk, but then I was like, no.
No, I think because our life is really chaotic and there's always something going on,
Is there a dead mouse?
and
No, it's...
And especially for like the place we're at in our life, because we're in such a transitional stage, I was like, Unstable, that'll work.
But you already thought of the name before. Or
Yeah, but I'm
We were unstable back then. Anyways, what is the
Unstable
mug,
then, unstable
the
now.
mug of the week? Cup of mug?
Oh yeah, yes sir. Yes,
What
it
is it
wants
called?
a mug. I would
A
say.
mug.
Yes, it wants to do
says-
like a mug of the week because his iconic ginger moment has like.
Don't let the muggles get you down.
So this is like a Harry Potter
Oh,
mug.
this is how I could know it's a mug.
Yeah. So don't let the muggles get you down. And this is his Harry Potter mug of
It's
the
yours.
month. It's mine, yeah. But this is his ginger moment. Okay, we're getting so sidetracked. This is
You are.
exactly why the Unstable thing is gonna work. Okay, so I feel like
When did you get all the questions again? You would do this in your sneaky old time?
no, I asked this time, instead of asking on my Instagram, I actually made like a community tab post here on YouTube, and I asked you guys kind of like what topics you wanted us to discuss, if you had any questions. So I just kind of picked a random selection of things that I thought we didn't cover too much last time, or things that kind of like applied to like last month's adventures. So I feel like in January, which is like where this is obviously going out at the end of January. January I think was like already a busy first month for us into 2024. I mean, I was in Saudi Arabia. You had a lot of like training prep because you've got a lot of shows coming up. I feel like there's like a lot of talk about partnerships and stuff going on, and like we've had a lot of like stuff happening behind the scenes with the whole property search. So there's been a lot going on.
I mean, it's not been boring, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's been unstable.
Yeah, it's been unstable. There you go. But okay, I want to jump into today's questions. I kind of, again, this is in no particular order. I just kind of screenshot them as I go, as like I see interesting ones come up. So we're going to kind of be jumping back and forth to different things.
Just like, jump. You need to add some sound effects.
Okay, but let's one step at a time here, okay? This is like, we're going to start small and humble, and then we're going to build it up.
Do you think I can make
And
my
also-
own ginger brand?
Yeah, but it's just,
Or is that just
unless
ginger?
you're growing the ginger yourself.
Yes. In the next property.
Yeah, maybe. Yes's own ginger. There you go. Then you guys will all be able to grab some ginger and watch us at the same
And be
time.
healthy.
Yeah.
And look 10 years younger.
And also, we were talking a little bit about the setup because like this is not ideal here right now. Like it works, but
I
was
feel more settled
what?
here.
I was thinking of doing something a little bit set up a little bit better. Let me know what you guys think. But there's like a building that's going to be empty soon, like the old showroom, once everyone moves out. And we could do something in there with like a setup with multiple cameras. But I want to see, do you guys like this simple laid back setup? Do you want something a little bit more? Let me know what you think.
Like it
this
here.
is where we're at now. But
the only thing that when it's hard is when the weather, because we're very close to the opening of the door, so it can work or cannot work out.
Yeah.
And people still need to be able to do their thing here, so that's also why it's a bit more tricky.
And every time we film, there is a windstorm and it's high humidity. So by the time we finish setting up this thing, I look like Hagrid. Like, because
don't let the muggles get you down.
Okay, we're gonna get into it. Otherwise, we're also going to visit Yes's grandpa, who's not been too well today, so we can't be too late.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is very random. I don't know if this applies to you, but we will see. So the question is, how do you stay clean when you are around horses all day? I'm so impressed with your hands that always look so freshly manicured. After an hour with a horse, I am covered in slobber and grass stains. Come on, you've got that clean girl aesthetic. Let's hear it, yeah.
I don't think I'm very clean usually. I used to have all like pillows here on my hands.
Calluses, not pillows.
Yeah, they look like pillows. I was getting to the point. Anyways, just because of like brooming and cleaning and stuff like that. Don't have those anymore really. But anyways, I mean, I'm pretty clean, but we do get dirty a lot.
I feel like, I think it's maybe difficult to gauge, like, I feel generally I'm very clean and tidy. Like, it's very rare that I'm covered in stuff. I'm pretty careful. You're very laid back, so it's quite common for you.
Poo on the floor, I just grab it and throw it.
No, but also you'll just wipe everything on yourself, and you're not careful, and you let the horses with like all this slobber, like you're not precious about it.
It's very cute when sometimes they get their mesh and they put it all over my face.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
The other day I wore my breeches for 5 days.
So there you go.
But they looked pretty clean still.
So that, I hope that answers your question, especially when you ride bareback and then you've got like the whole outline of like the horses.
Usually I have then I don't wear it again because I can't do that.
Yeah, but I think on that front perhaps I'm a little bit cleaner, but I think generally we're both clean people.
But I don't think the question was if we were clean. I think how we do it.
But that's what I am making it now. Oh, sorry. All right, next question. You look like someone who's looking to either make a website or run your website on a better platform. Then Squarespace is where you need to be. Squarespace offers hundreds of already made templates where you can go in, pick your favorite one, still customize everything you want. You don't need to have any coding knowledge. It's super user friendly. I run my shop on there. I've been running my website on Squarespace for almost 4 years now. I truly love the user experience. It's so easy to use on the go as well. You can make quick changes on your phone, whether it's updating stock levels, changing text, or changing the photos as well. If this sounds like what you're looking for, then do use my link, which is www.squarespace.com/Harnacke. In doing so, you'll receive 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. So what are your thoughts on frothing at the mouth with dressage? Now, this is something I wanted to... So that's when they have like a lot of foam in the mouth. Now, this is something I wanted to bring up because I actually had quite a couple of comments about this on one of my reels, because Etro, which is one of my stallions, he has a super active mouth. He plays with his lips a lot.
Let's call him Fat.
Also, hi Tom. So he has a lot of foam developing. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Yeah. Because
well, I don't know everything about it. I do think that foam per se isn't bad at all. Even like when you ride bidless or when I do groundwork, when they use their body in a certain way, they also get like Annie. Also, when I do like Liberty work, she gets like a little foamy mouth.
And you don't even have anything on her.
No, she's like free.
Yeah, she's like in full Liberty. So I think.
But I mean, I think there's ways of like how much. But every horse is also different.
That's exactly the thing. I think you'd always prefer. I would always prefer seeing a mouth that's slightly more foamy than dry. Like even if you imagine like the bits and stuff in a very dry mouth, like it just sounds uncomfortable. I think the sign of having a little bit of foam in the mouth also shows that the horse is like working correctly, like they're not like blocking too much. I mean, the thing is, it's so hard because every horse is different. So like Chase, for instance, doesn't really foam that much, even when he's going correctly. But then Etro, even when I'm hand walking him with a bit, and he's full foam, like, and there's like nothing going on. There's no pressure. He's just walking.
It will be interesting to hear some other like opinions or like researches about it. But I think it is always good to have a little bit of foam.
My preference is more rather than less. Of course, this is non-reflective of the horse being stressed or not. We're assuming the horse is comfortable, the bits fit correctly, and they're not stressed. My preference would always be to have more than less.
Etro also does always with his mouth like...
Yeah, he's always playing. He makes his like sound, so that makes him very active.
Always with his mouth, even in the stable.
Yeah, but foam is not something that's really influenced to all degree by the bit, because as Jesse said, it happens in Liberty, it happens when you're trick training, even with Etro, it happens when you're hand walking. On neck rope
also gets in a bit.
Yeah, so that's a bit difficult to tell.
But okay, I've never seen a horse on neck rope get that much foam.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen like a full mouth.
Yeah.
Foam.
Okay, next question. How did Jesse break his wrist? Now this is a blast from the past, because this was like 2 years ago now, or?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I was in Belgium, I was teaching, I think for 2 days. So I had a hotel there, and then it was at night. I was like, okay, I might as well see the city for a second. And then I went on one of these scooters.
Bad idea.
And then it was already getting quite late, so I went just full speed, and I wanted to go on these scooters where you stand on, is it called a scooter?
It's like an electric scooter, like the ones you can just like rent in the city.
Yes, and it went quite well, because I went even through a park, and it was like all these cobblestones, and I went like, it was terrible, and it was a bit scary there. So I just went really fast, then I went on the road, and from the road I wanted to go onto the pavement. But then I think the curb from the pavement was a little bit too high, so I went literally full power, like that onto the curb, and the scooter stopped, and I flew forward, and then I went full speed, and I caught myself on my wrist. So it was very painful, but I was very embarrassed because all these cars. So I just got back on my scooter, and I went to the hotel, and then I went to the desk, and I was like, "Can I please get some ice?" And when they were getting some ice for me, I almost started to vomit, so I went downstairs to the toilet.
I think from the pain,
end up vomiting.
Probably.
Then I fell asleep with this. Then I fell asleep with this ice thing on my wrist. Woke up with a soaked bed, and then I went to teach with my arm like this.
Yeah, and then I said, you probably have to go get it checked out, and he's like, yeah, but I'm in Belgium, and there's no doctors or whatever, that because I have to teach. I don't have time to go to the hospital, and so as soon as you had time after a whole day of teaching with your wrist like this broken, you went to the hospital, and the Dutch hospitals here are not great.
I went to the desk, and they told me, sorry, you need to make an appointment. So I had to go outside.
And this was at the emergency room, no?
Yes, and I had to go outside and have to call the woman behind the desk from outside when I was just talking to her in real life.
Like here, the health system in the Netherlands, like everything here works, but the health system is really crap.
I mean, some things are good, but the service is maybe not the best.
And the solution for anything in the Netherlands is like just take a glass of water. Like you'll go to a doctor with like a serious issue, they're like, just drink some water. But while in Australia, they're the opposite, which is also not good, and they give you like a bunch of antibiotics, which is also not good. But yeah, here it's not a great system.
Yeah. But anyways, I went full power, and then the curb was too high, and I fell.
Yeah.
The first time I really broke something. I mean, birth doesn't count.
Yeah, you broke your collarbones at birth.
But it was very painful.
Yeah, and it did take a while for it to become normal again, I remember. Yeah.
And then I went up. That's okay.
The next question, I just thought it was funny, and there was actually a few comments like this, and it was like, where does your money come from? Well, certainly it doesn't grow on a money tree. Yeah, from invoices that we send. I think sometimes because our job is a little bit elusive online, it's not super clear like how we monetize and stuff. It's not clear like what businesses we have. I think a lot of people kind of like see the life and they think like, oh, maybe they have like family money, or maybe they just like get it all for free or get it all handed to them. So it's not so much that it's like I want to answer this question about the money itself, but I think to give you guys a little bit of insight on how
maybe this person doesn't think like that, and it's just...
No, but I've seen other comments where people assume like that.
All the time.
So I think how would you like how has your journey been into monetizing your career?
Well, I think I've been very lucky and grateful, but I've been working since I was 14, 15, 7 days a week. And then I started just at stable work, and I mean for a supermarket, but then stable work and stuff like that. And then I started working more into the lessons, the clinics, the shows, the events. Then of course social media a little bit, then the web shop. So I think it just built up. training,
Yeah.
bit of everything. I don't know.
I think you and I have been similar in that
just-
way that we have our fingers in like several different pies. I think that's how you say it.
Yes,
so we're
but
not.
we also work like 7 days a week.
Yeah. But I think to be a little bit more precise, there's different ways. Like obviously YouTube is a way that we monetize through like having sponsors on, and you guys are so gracious every time. And like, I know I have quite a few sponsors that come on it, but that really like enables me to have everything I do and to work at the scale that we do. Otherwise it's simply not possible.
But it's even
So-
like one thing, you have the camera breaks or something else breaks, you have to buy another one.
But even like just the amount of money we pay on staff is like it's just not possible. Like if you don't have sponsors and people that support you. So I'm very grateful for you guys always giving us that grace of allowing that to happen and not complaining. You guys have actually been great about it, especially because I've got a lot of long-term partnerships that you guys have supported so well. But yeah, so let me break it down really quickly. YouTube monetization through viewership and partnerships, Instagram partnerships, modeling, events. Then we also have like Horse World TV together. Obviously that's something that's monetized. You have your Nalanta company that sells products. So that's like e-commerce, I guess. What else? I mean, we've actually most of the money we've made has been through investments. For instance, with just property, like that's been like a huge asset to us, and I think that's something that's like really important, that like we had the opportunity really young to put our money into property, and that was a great investment, and we did renovations to it. That's something that I mean also tied into like sharing it with you guys and like our lives. But I think that's why we're so confident about looking for the next place, because we know that like usually money is always safe in property. Yeah. And so putting it in young is a good idea.
But then also it's not that we don't have to worry at all. Like we have to work really hard for everything, and it's not that we can just do it without any worry. We still have to, like anyone.
It's kind of like this machine has taken years to build, and it's not that you can just step away from it now and reap the benefits. You have to keep working at it. You have to keep putting in the work to get the benefit out.
Okay, but I think that's enough talk about this.
Yeah, but I do think it's a question that often comes because I think people just don't understand. And I think some people say, I want to have that too, how can I do it? So I hope that was able to help a little with that question. And I think just always do what you're passionate about.
Like sit here and get it all for nothing.
No,
but we also know we're very lucky that we get to live.
And certainly it's not our families funding our lives. No. Not at all. All right, next question. If you don't find a property already set up, would you buy land and build from scratch? There was quite a few questions about that.
Would be a big process, I think.
I don't think that's something that like we're considering now, because.
But I mean, we always say never, so you don't know. But
yeah, I think it's something that we can stay open to, but certainly,
cool.
Yeah,
well,
but certainly, like I think we're heading more down the direction, also from like a time point of view, because like the stable we're renting now will be sold. We're definitely staying more down the path of like wanting to find something that's already set up that maybe we can do some light renovations to, just purely from like a time thing. Yeah, but I think we'll stay open to whatever comes our way.
Can't wait to start going through the whole thing, and we'll start soon a bit more.
Yeah. Okay, have either of you ever had a bad fall from one of your horses and had to go to hospital and or been afraid to ride afterwards?
Knock on everything, but actually no. I mean, I've fallen off quite often. On Antares, never. Gaio, never. Oh, I have to be careful, I have a show.
Are you sure you haven't fallen off on Antares?
100%.
Even in the beginning?
Yes, never.
You've fallen off PK?
I mean, it wasn't fully falling, I was standing.
Well, you were not in the saddle anymore?
Yes.
You've fallen off Andorra?
Many times.
Have you ever fallen off like Giovanni Bascia or Elamona? Those were some of like Yes's training horses. Used to have jumping horses.
I don't think so.
You fell off Carino during a jumping round. I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Once.
That was like a championships, of course.
And then I fell off
the hunting horses with the most.
But it was never a bad fall, or.
I mean, the very first time I fell off a horse was when I had to ride a Shetland pony on the riding school, and then I kind of laughed at the people that had to go on there because he was very stubborn. And then I was waiting to hear on which horse I was going to go, and then I had to go on. I think it was actually also called Beertje.
Really?
I think so. But the pony was only there for like a few days because it wasn't meant to be there. And then I fell off. I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed the stirrup for the pony not to run away. And then it kicked me in my armpit.
Oh.
And then in the same hour, I fell a second time, and I was stuck with my foot in the stirrup, and I was going through the whole
and you got
arena.
dragged.
And then I was very not amused.
No, I can imagine.
Because I was very scared when I was younger.
Me too. I think you and I had...
fell off Emporio.
No, okay. Okay, that's not how it went. So, actually, I will find the video and I'll put it in here.
Really?
Yeah, I think I will.
Finally.
So
I've been waiting for this video to go live.
What happened with Emporio is I was trying to do... I'd ridden him neck rope several times in the indoor. He was perfect.
Several times, maybe one
Two
or
or
two.
Two or three. And so I said to Dominique, which is our photographer, I said, okay, let's do a really fun reel where like I start like in a double bridle and then we like transition to neck rope outside in the outdoor because the lighting in the indoor never looks good on video. So we started doing it and we did 2 takes and he was really good. And then on the 3rd take, I was cantering and I could already feel on the neck rope, I was like, okay, he's not coming back. I came to like the end of the arena because we were just doing the long side and I was like, okay, this horse is not coming back. So then I started to pull even harder and circling and he only kept getting, he was like going against, because I think he was being a little bit stalliony, the horses around the field, and he just kept getting faster and faster and faster.
And Dominique was in full panic.
Dominique was in full panic. She was trying to stand in front of him to stop him because it went on for a couple of minutes. And then I was only scared that he would like either like slip and hurt himself or like, because the fencing is so low, jump out of the arena. And so at one point I was like, okay, this horse is not going to stop. Oh my God, yeah, or he slips. Oh, that was like my worst nightmare. So I said, okay, I have to just kind of throw myself off. I knew once I was off, he would stop. I really felt that. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to throw myself. I went on the long side and I said to myself, I'm not going to throw myself onto the sand because I'm scared that he's going to like maybe kick out or like step on me. I was like, I would rather just fall on the grass, which is to my left, which was over the fence. So I was riding like this. I put myself on my stomach like this on the saddle and I was sideways and then I kind of just threw myself like that.
A hole in the grass, remember?
Yeah, I threw myself like that and then at full gallop, mind you, and then I landed on the grass. Didn't even have a scratch on me. I was so lucky. And then as soon as I fell, he stopped. We got him. And then Dominique just broke down crying. I think the stress was too much for her. Aww. So that's the only time I've ever fallen off Emporio. And to be honest, that is my fault because I don't think he was ready. Well, he certainly wasn't ready, actually, in hindsight. And then I fell off Andorra once, also on neck rope. I'm cursed on neck rope.
Was on neck rope on
it was on neck rope. I had nothing.
But I told you not to canter.
I didn't want to canter. I was trotting and then she started cantering. What does he have to do? He jumps in front of it like this.
No, I didn't jump.
You did. You tried to stop her and then she went, I don't think so. Full Arabian gallop.
But it only
down the indoor arena, not this one, the old one, which was huge. And then at the last moment she goes left.
No, she just made the turn.
In full gallop. And then I went, doop,
do you remember when
I was fine.
When I was in the other place as well and I was riding without anything?
Oh yeah.
And she was also going crazy.
Yeah, but you stayed on.
She's very fast.
She's very fast. Yeah. But okay.
But you also
so that
fallen
was
off chase, I think, or never?
Never. Never fallen off chase. Yeah.
I rode him yesterday, it was a bit wild.
Oh yeah.
But anyways.
Would you ever plan another African horse safari in the future? Maybe Kenya, the Masai Mara?
Yes. I've been really thinking about it the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday because we watched like an animal documentary last night.
This morning I was on the Instagram page.
Oh really? So we worked last time with a company which is called African Horse Safaris. They offer like the most incredible horse-related safaris all over Africa, including Egypt, just the most incredible places. We've been lucky enough.
Egypt is Africa, no?
Yeah, but like it's like not just like the typical safari that you think like with the lions and everything. You can also do Egypt, all this kind of stuff. But we did with them already. Botswana was the first one, and then Zimbabwe was the second one that we did. And I really want to go do the Delta one when there's the floods because that's like something completely different. There's so much wildlife then, and you're kind of like galloping and cantering through the water. It's just so that's like the next one. We need to talk to them. She had reached out a while ago just to say hello. They're such lovely people. So it would be nice to talk to Isabel again and just see like, okay, maybe let's talk about doing the Delta. That would be really fun.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah. But we say to everybody, it's hands down, like the first one we did in Botswana, that was hands down the best holiday of our lives ever.
I mean, every time there was really good.
Yeah, but that one, it was like if you're a horse person, you need to experience it at least once. It was magical. It was truly magical. Right, so the next question is like, what are red flags in equestrians? Like, what are things that like give you alarm bells?
Like what? About how they are with the horse or something else?
Just a red flag, just like you're like, okay, this is not a good equestrian person.
Well, I think always when they try to either blame it on the horse or a situation or another thing, when things don't work out.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe looking into another direction. I'm not saying I never do it, but it's, I don't know. Something else, that they don't really care how often they see the horse. That they don't really care what kind of life a horse lives. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because we've had, now that we've taken on just like a handful of clients, we have to go through that like analysis process. So when someone comes in and check that, okay, are they going to fit into like the environment we have here, the stable we have here, the other people? We have such lovely people here. We would never want someone to not mix.
Everybody actually does something different here.
Yeah, we've got some natural
really,
horsemanship.
Really
we've got some like show jumping, dressage, some retired horses. Well, I mean, there's only like 7. How many horses do we have here from clients? 9 horses, but some, like there's like one that's injured and retired. There's like a pony that's not doing anything. There's a really young horse that's like not being ridden. So it's quite a quiet environment. But
they're all super nice and really nice for the horse, and they only want the best for the horses.
There's an ex-international show jumper, Alpacore. So there's like a real mixture here. But I would say the biggest red flag is, I don't know how to put this, overly analytical people about really small things. So like when someone comes in and they're saying, like, do we all know that person at the stable that is like constantly creating problems when they like there isn't any? Like they're just looking at their horse and they're like, something's wrong, or like, oh, he's like slightly eating the hay differently today, or like he walked to me in a different way in the paddock and he's got a different look in his eye. And it's really good to be observant, but these people are like, they're constantly nitpicking their horse and their environment to look for a problem, or to look for something that justifies why there's an issue.
I think I'm trying get what you're trying to say, and I agree in one way. I think at some point you do need to follow your feeling, and you do know your horse best, and you do see when things are different. But I think sometimes, when, at least in my own experience as well, if sometimes I make the problems, then you keep them alive. Sometimes you like create the problem.
You'll manifest it out of it. Like it doesn't exist, but because you're putting so much energy into it, it'll come.
Energy in it will grow, and then you see it, and it will become more and more and more, and the horse will also not be able to be himself without any of that.
And I think this is the other red flag, is when people humanize horses. So rather than looking at them like animals and what they want, and this goes both ways. This could be like, it's rainy and cold and all this kind of stuff. They don't want to go outside, so my horse is just going to spend his whole life in a stable. Like, a horse doesn't think like a human. It doesn't think like that. Sure, like if it's like a blizzard outside, super rainy and windy and cold, my horses like hate the paddock. Some of them don't, but some of them do. So being observant to those things is good, but you can't think of horses like humans. And sometimes when people say, oh, my horse is jealous when this, sometimes a lot of these human feelings that we give them, I don't feel like they have. Like we give them a voice that they don't have to try and justify things. I think horses care about a lot of different things. They care about like interactions with other horses. They care about like their feed and being outside and all this kind of stuff. They're not that bothered. Like, no horse is going, she's going to come and ride me in 45 minutes, and that's all I'm looking forward to in my day. Yeah. Like, horses have their own lives, independent of us. And I think that's such a red flag when someone, like, tries to make a horse a human and then gives it their voice, not the horse's voice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
that really frustrates me. And I will... Wait, there's one thing... And I know I'll get hate in the comments. I don't care. I will say it strongly.
Also, one thing I want to say, we might sit here together. Doesn't mean when I say something he agrees or the other way around.
No,
I don't know what's going to come out of this mouth.
I will say these over-analytical people that will give so much of a personification to horses and justify a lot of their behavior through kind of like... through kind of like human emotions and human eyes, they do come a lot of the time. Literally, the camera died. It couldn't handle it.
It was like, stop. Quick.
It certainly can come.
This is just your experience.
No, yes, it is my experience. That's all I can talk on. It certainly can come on like a dressage person or a show jumper or people in that field, but I strongly feel that a lot of the times it comes from natural horsemanship people. Sometimes when I hear these natural horsemanship clinics and they're talking about like, oh, if my shoulder faces a little bit inwards, the horse is like not going to trust me, and if I'm walking towards the horse with eye contact, it's going to feel threatened. And I think so many times we overcomplicate things with horses.
One of my clinics, I couldn't do anything.
No,
it's like maybe go then to someone that...
They make it so difficult. They make it so impossible. And all these people, because they create so many hurdles for themselves, have no progression.
Sometimes these horses are very like brain dead.
Yeah, because they just sometimes just be normal. Do what feels natural without overthinking it. I think horses are such a mirror and such a reflection of us. Like, just try things without overthinking it and see what works. As long as you're being fair to the horse, play around with that. Don't overanalyze every small little thing. Like, it's so frustrating to me.
Okay.
And I will say it comes more from natural horsemanship people. But then dressage and show jumpers can be the opposite.
They do a lot of other things.
Can be the opposite, where they underanalyze everything and they just put their own priorities on horses. And horses live a very sheltered life that's very unfair to how a horse should be treated. So it does...
That's also a big...
It does live in both realms. But somehow the natural horsemanship people get to me on a different level when I hear all these
But I think
things.
what you said last is also very true.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There was another additional thing. Do you ever notice your accents fading in or mixing together?
Well, I just would like to get rid of my accent.
I don't feel like you have an accent. You say that.
I think you're just used to it.
No, I don't feel like you have an accent.
Well, I think it's quite Dutch.
I think when we first started talking, there was a bit of like, you would say like chips instead of chips. So like, I think then there was maybe a little bit, but you don't really have an accent.
Because I just hate doing the with your tongue, because I used to have a lisp. Finally got rid of it.
Little lisp boy.
And then now I have to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. And you?
I feel like I've had to really dull down my Australian accent, because here, if I say like water, stuff like that, where I roll my R's, people don't understand.
Really?
Yeah. So I make an emphasis now, and it's really frustrating that I do this, but I make an emphasis on talking like an American to be clearer. Like, instead of saying like an American, like an American. Like, to put the emphasis on the R, so when I'm in a non-speaking, English-speaking country, they understand me better.
Okay.
Because also with you, when sometimes when British people talk to you, you're like, I don't understand.
No, it depends.
Like, if they have a strong accent, you don't get it. And that's the problem. So now I've got this strange in-between accent.
An in-between.
Yeah, but not this much. Also, if you look back at my old videos, I used to speak in a very different way.
Most of the words I know because of speaking to you. But keep going, next.
Right. We don't have too many left. 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, will you include Bear into shows? Matt, can 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 use Chase in his shows too? Please, lol. Love you both so much.
Well, I am training with Bear now a little bit. I just need to see how he will like it. He's doing pretty good actually, but I need to see how he's going to like the shows, because he has joined a few times. He did quite well, but he is still a bit more like, he's very cute, because he's more
sensitive,
polite, I think, and sensitive, so he gets also offended quickly. Not offended, but then he's like, okay, well, I don't know, bye. But that's just that we have to get to know each other better. And as long as he's gonna like the shows, then I hope he will come more. Yes, for sure. And Chase would be cool as well. Yesterday I actually rode him.
And what did you say after you rode him?
Well, I mean, he's a bit stiff, maybe. So yeah, no, but I like them both. But yeah.
Okay. Next question. How long have you known each other before Matt moved to the Netherlands? Were you able to meet often, or did you get to know each other like more of a long distance?
I think we knew each other 1.5 years before you moved here.
Yeah. So it was like 1.5 years of like, I was living in Australia and I was coming a lot to Europe, and we got to know each other in between there. And then after that 1.5 years, I made the move, and I've now been in the Netherlands for...
Nearly 6 years.
6 years in May.
Do you smell dog poo?
I smell poo, generally. But I think one of the horses just pooed somewhere.
Maybe we need to do a 4D experience.
Maybe we'll do that when we're in the next kind of studio setup. There's a lot of horse going on here, but you guys probably like that. So this person had quite a few questions. I don't know exactly which ones we'll hit, but the first one I liked. So what was your parents' reaction when you first told them about your decision to be full-time equestrians?
My mom actually supported it. She came because I wasn't really happy on high school. And then she actually...
So you finished so early?
Yeah, then she figured out that I could quit high school earlier and do this education because I was doing a bit of higher level in high school. Then I could finish with like a lower... Like I could finish quicker and then it would mean it was lower. But then I did it like in a year quicker, basically. Then I could go to this education for like horse management and stuff like that. And then a lot of people didn't agree. But yeah, it was nice that my mom did that and supported it, and then I just did it and I was a lot happier, and I think that's what really matters. And then I did that for 2 years, and then I did after that 2 years 1 day a week to school, and then all the other days working.
How do you feel about, like, we have like interns that come here and work for us. We have friends that have done like the horse management. Do you feel, obviously I have my own opinions about it, but do you feel like it's a little bit of a waste of time to do that course based on the real life experience?
Not a course, it's an education.
Oh, the education. Do you think it's a little bit of a waste of time doing that education when you could just do internships and have like that first-hand experience?
No, because you can't do internships without, basically. Then you also learn a lot about the management behind, about bookkeeping, all of that stuff. And for me, first of all, you're very young otherwise if you quit school then. You really get to like know other knowledge, you get to have cool experiences. A lot of people won't get in touch with other companies. And I do feel like if you are really willing, you're very passionate, it is your life and you are willing to work really hard, there's always work in the horses. People sometimes say there's no work, but there is plenty of work. And for me, with the education, you get to know so many people, which really helps. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't have had the same if I didn't go to that school.
The general consensus...
You have an opinion about it without experiencing it. So
No. My opinion only stems from having talked to people who have done it, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to do after with it? Like, which kind of career path is this going to give you a foot in the doorway? Then I understand that you'll make those experiences in the meantime. But my question is always a little bit like, okay, at the end of it, it's all well and good to have done a course, but where are you going to be then? Like, which doors have opened? Education.
It takes 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it depends how many days you go to school. I don't think it takes 4 years if you do it like full time.
Yes.
Even if you go 5 days a week, it takes 4 years.
Yes.
So how did it take 4 years when you did it 1 day a week?
Well, I did the first 2 years full time, and then I had the other 2 years, it was like planning differently, but all the work that you had to do at home.
Oh, it's the same workload, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You just have a different planning. I just had to do it besides my work at home.
Right. But yeah, sometimes what I have found is that when people do finish this course, they're a little bit like...
Yeah, but you have that with any education.
Well, it depends, but I think...
Like, you didn't even do anything after high school.
No, how could I? I was modeling full time.
Yeah. But he always has a really strong opinion about me doing this thing.
No, I don't have a strong opinion.
High school early.
I don't have a strong opinion. It's just some of the girls that work for us, then when they tell me, like, I always say, you can never go wrong doing an education. I don't think there's anything you'll lose out of it. I think it's always really empowering.
I love that they're following what they like and what they're passionate.
Yeah, but I always say to them, have a little bit, try, and while you're doing this course, have a better... education. While you're doing this education, try and already get a really good understanding of what you want out of it. Like, what makes you happy, what makes you passionate, because there's no point finishing the education and then you're still at square one and you're like, okay, well, I don't know what to do still. So I'm like, use that time, do the course, but use that time to really do that education. God, that's really a chip on your shoulder. It's the same thing, course or education. It's the same thing.
It's not.
Do the education, but try and figure out by the end of it where you want to go with it.
You sound like such a dad.
No, because sometimes I see them and they're full of enthusiasm, and then I say, okay, where did you want to take this after? And they don't know, and it's okay not to know.
It's different when you don't like go for an own company. You have to work somewhere. You also kind of like, you need to either...
Definitely. I just think when people go into this, don't think that it's like a one-thing solution. It's not a one-thing solution that you do this education and then you have a job. After the education, you have to apply what you've learned and you need to go out there and find a job.
I think usually when you are the right person for and you found the right internship, usually you can stick around at that company.
Yeah. So I think it's just good to be, if for instance, if someone says to me, okay, Matt, I want to be like an international groom, I would say probably best to try and get into a really good stable and try and like work your way up and learn through them. I don't think there's a need to go and do like a horse management
But
degree.
also insurance wise, there's like, you can't just do that sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway,
You would have learned
but
that
it's
maybe
interesting.
after high school.
It's don't you dare.
I'm only saying these things because he always like talks to me about it.
No, because it's, for me, there's such a different educational system from the Netherlands to Australia. So for me, it's very interesting. As I said, I haven't done the course, but I haven't done the education. But I have talked to a lot of the girls that have, and the general feeling I get after is a little bit of confusion. And I don't know where that's coming from. So that's why I just say to them, okay, try and figure it out along the way a little bit. So then you have a bit of a plan when you're done. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know why
But
that
for
took
me,
such a
it really,
ramble.
I think it can really help. But just as anything in life, you have to shape things for yourself, and you have to like grab things and go for things that you like.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna come when you sit there, and it's not gonna happen by itself. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But then you shouldn't go into horses anyways.
Yeah, and really quickly to answer that question, for me, my parents, my career kind of evolved gradually. So it was not that one day I said I want to be like an equestrian influencer or I want to be an internet personality. It was kind of like they were very supportive of me modeling. I was really lucky to do well with it. And then I started doing well with social media and horses, and they've always believed in me following my passions. My dad's an entrepreneur. So they've always really pushed for me to like be my own boss and to do what I love every day. Doesn't matter about the money
But
or the
even if they
success,
didn't
just
push,
if I'm happy.
You would still go for it.
Exactly.
There's no way of like changing that mind.
Okay, this is a good question. How it's inside that question that from before. How do you two find me time after work? Time to focus on your own self without the other one around?
Oh. Like yesterday, I was like, okay, I might just go to the gym. Okay, then I'm coming. I was like, no, maybe you stay home. I don't like that.
I was already
I'm
gonna
stay
go
home.
to
Then
the
I said,
gym.
I'll stay home. No, that's not what I said. I'm gonna go there. Like, okay, then I'll come. And then I was like, okay, then I'll stay.
But
home.
I was always gonna go to the
Then
gym.
I said, then I'll stay home. Then I'll stay home too. It's like, oh Lord.
Yeah, because I was missing the motivation. So I was like, okay, I know I have to go today to the gym. And then I was like, if Jesse goes, then it's like the push I need to go as well. But if he's going to stay home, then I was like, oh, we can just have like
But
an early
normally
night.
we have kind of like, we can really do our own thing.
I think honestly we spend most of the day doing our own thing. So it's not that we're doing the whole day together and then we get back inside the house and we think, oh, hell, more time.
Otherwise I have another office that I go to.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. But you're hardly there, so.
Yeah, because I don't need it.
Exactly. And then the last question for this video is, will you both move to Australia one day? Since Jesse likes it there, and so does Matt.
Well listened. I really like it there. I think I could move there. For now, no, because I mean I don't know how to get all my horses there. Then I
Well,
mean,
okay, that's logistically, that's easy to figure out. That's
I know,
not a
but
problem.
it's very expensive also.
Yeah, okay.
And then
But-
for Andorra, I don't want to like fly her across the country when she's turning 30 world. And I think I could live there, but only when I don't have to work anymore. Because I think it's more difficult to work there, and then I think you would just want to have like a beautiful property that you can just enjoy and don't have to like work.
Yeah.
Then I could definitely see myself there. It's the only country I could see myself live.
It could be like a good retirement place. The weather is amazing. The country is beautiful. I just don't know if after having built a life here, we would want something like that.
I
to
mean,
be
I'm
like-
not planning on going, but I mean, I could. I'm not saying no to it.
Yeah. But I think that's also the only other place I could envision myself. Like, I don't have any other affinity
So
with...
beautiful there.
Yeah. I'm going in 2
animal.
weeks. I'm really
Oh,
excited.
I
Sent you
also-
lots of photos.
I even planned, because it was so busy last year, I was like, okay, in January or something, I might just go.
But you can come.
No, I can't.
Oh, you have a show, but yeah, okay, we'll figure it out. We do have a skiing holiday with my family in March that I'm really looking forward to, because Jesse is not really a skier. Maybe we could even do like a small vlog, or just take a couple of videos to show people.
Yes, I
'cause it's
broke
good.
his other wrist.
Yeah, we'll let you know how he breaks everything else. But I think that could be fun to show you skiing, because you're very sporty and you're really good at like everything. But because it's such unfamiliar territory, it's kind of funny to see you struggle with that.
Really struggle.
Yeah.
I broke the stick on my face.
Oh yeah, I took Yes already skiing once, and that did
don't know
not
if we
end
spoke about this already.
very well.
Anyways, it can be for the next
We'll
one.
keep talking forever. Okay, well that's everything for this month's Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions for the next video, you can leave it here or keep an eye out for either my Instagram or my YouTube community posts where I will be asking you guys to submit questions for the February edition of the Q&A.
Yes.
This setup, let me know what you guys think of the setup. I asked you guys in the beginning, do you want us to keep it simple like this? Would you like us to have a little studio with multiple cameras? I think also in the future it would be nice to have a couple guests come on. And then this setup is not going to work as well. So that's something to
We can hang
keep in
it
mind.
in like a swing.
The guest. Yeah, okay, great. Good one, yes. Sir.
Funny on the wash bay. I had this idea that I wanted to do also
Well, we'll cross
with,
tie
like,
the guests.
nice guests, and I wanted to just muck out stables with them and have a like nice natural conversation.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not sure how that's going to go with the audio.
Een beetje cold.
Okay, well,
Oh,
we're...
no worry.
God, everything's falling apart. Yes, so we're saying goodbye.
Yes,
Doesn't matter. Okay, thank you guys all so much for watching, and we're gonna catch you guys on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Be unstable.